Hi, I'm Cheryl. I've got a nice card here, and I'm using the Sharing Sweet Thoughts stamp set again, and it's kind of a lift me up card. So it says full of love for you on the front, and then on the inside it says wishing you brighter days to come. So this is what you're going to need for this project. You need a piece of Crumb Cake cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. Well, I didn't have any of this written down. A piece of pink Pirouette, and this is 2.5 by 3.5. Then we have 2 strips here. And the main thing is that they're 2 inches wide, and they could be anything up to 5.5 inches. So let's see, these are, the soft sky one here is a little bit over 5 inches, and this is a 6-inch length of designer papers, and that came from, let's see, I have it buried underneath there. That came from Love Blossoms. It's a retired designer paper stack, and this is some of the paper I'll be giving out in my free giveaway, so you'll have to check that out. I'll have a URL below that you can, will take you to the video that tells about that. I'm giving away designer paper if you buy the Sharing Sweet Thoughts stamp set from now until July 31st, 2017. I need to say that because who knows when people will see this video. Now we need 2 pieces of Whisper White. Got a little piece here, and this is about 2.5 inches by about 3 inches. And then I have a piece for the inside of the card, which I cut at 5.5 by 4 1/4, but we're going to tear the edge on this, so it will end up to be smaller. Let's see, what else have I got here? I've got my banner punch. I have a sponge dauber, or a sponge wedge. I have my Memento black ink, Pool Party ink, and pink Pirouette ink. And I'm using, of course, the Sharing Sweet Thoughts stamp set. We're using the jar from this, and I think that's it for this one. Oh no, we're using this nice big thing here, full of love for you. So we're using that, and we're using the jar and the hearts. Let me tip this so you can see. And the hearts down here. There's a little cluster of hearts. We're going to use that. They'll go in our jar. And then the wishing you brighter days to come on the inside of the card is from the Beautiful You stamp set, which is a beautiful stamp set. And then from Sealed with Love, I'm just using the lips, but you could just fill your jar with hearts if you wanted to, I suppose. But I have this stamp set, and I'm going to use the lips. And because I just discovered these and I want to put them on everything, these are the Nuvo Crystal Drops, and this one is the Crystal Drops Gloss in Bubblegum Blush. So I'll be putting that on my card. And we'll need snail and some dimensionals. And that's it, I believe. But at the end of the video, I'll have everything listed down below. So if I forget something right now, don't worry. It'll be all down below in the card. So let's start out. I'm going to start out by oh, you know what else we need? We need an aqua painter. Yeah, that's so terribly important. We need that. So I'm going to start out with my Pool Party ink and my jar stamp. Incidentally, when you have a stamp like this that's got flimsy little edges, or if it's a long sentiment, the best way to mount that on your stamp block is just let it lay down on your table like that, and then just take your block and press your block down on top of it, and that way nothing gets distorted. So we'll ink that up, and then right in the center here we're going to stamp this. Then I'm going to take my aqua painter, and I'm going to open this up so I have my palette. And I have some ink on there already, but if you don't have ink on your palette there, just squeeze it like this, and it'll give you a nice little puddle of ink there to work with. So let me get a little water flow in there, because we just want to add just a little touch of color. I'm going to put some up on the rim where it's got the threads on the top of the jar. Get a little more color here. And then I'm going to start at the top here, and I'm going to go wide all the way down the side here, and then go narrow across the bottom. And that could actually use a little bit more color because I can barely see that. So right there. And now we're going to flip it over, and I'm going to do the same thing on this other side here. Start at the top, go wide like that. I'm going to get down here, and we're going to go just narrow across the bottom. So now we need to clean our aqua painter out. Just have a little paper towel here, and make sure that's all ink's cleaned out of it, so it's all ready for the next time I want to use it. Now we need to let that dry a bit. So let's go on to the inside of our card, and I'm just going to tear this. Now, it does make a difference how you tear it. If you want it really raggedy, you tear up. If you want it not so raggedy, tear down. I'm going to tear down. I don't want this quite so raggedy. So I'm going to tear off, oh, I don't know, it's not quite a half an inch. All the way around, all four sides on this. So isn't this fun to watch? Now remember, we had cut this at the exact size of the card, so whatever we tear off, that's how much border we'll have showing when we adhere this down. If my voice sounds a little scratchy, I live in South Florida, and it's summer. It's like 100% humidity here, and everything is blooming. And I'm just going to tear just a little bit off on these. And yeah, my allergies have kicked up pretty good. So yeah, I'm feeling a little scratchy. And we're getting into the home stretch here. Got 3 sides done now. Just one more to go. And we can do the sponging on the edges while we're waiting on that to dry. We're going to mount the jar on that pink piece there. There we go. Just sponge all the way around. We're just doing this, the inside piece like this, just so it coordinates with the outside. On my on my sample card, I just stamped on the card base, but you know that doesn't look as. This will look much nicer. And we'll do our little jar piece here. Okay, so that's it for that. I don't need the sponge anymore. I do need the pink Pirouette though. I can't put that away yet. I was going to put it away and I can't do that yet. So, let's see. That feels pretty dry. I could hit it with the with my heating tool here, but it makes a terrible racket. And I know I don't like to see it, or I don't like to hear it when I'm watching a video, so we're just going to take a chance and make sure the stamp is right side up. We're going to stamp that right in the middle of our jar. And oh, that looks nice. Yeah, I like that. You see? And that would be perfectly fine just as it is, but no, I can't. I just can't leave well enough alone. I need to give it some nice little lipstick prints in there. So 1, 2, 3, and up. 1, 2, 3, and up. And we got a couple lipstick prints. Now I'm going to stamp some little hearts in there. And yeah, I have one on one side and one mounted on the other side of the stamp. I have to get back in the shop, I think, and make more stamp blocks. I thought I had more than I could possibly need, but obviously not. I have to double up stamps like that. Okay, so we're gonna put some little, make like little enamel, tiny little enamel dots with this, but I'm going to wait until this is all adhered down. Okay, so we've got that. Let's put that on our pink right off the bat here. So just with Snail, I'm going to put that down and center it with our little raggedy edges. And then we're going to get our banner pieces here and the banner punch. And this is nice because it's got that little lock on it and it folds up so it's nice and flat. You can stack it up with stuff and whatever. But this is how you use this. This is the biggest size you can make, is the 2-inch. And you just slide that in. Now all the way. Oops. Slide in all the way until it hits the bottom here. You see, this is the back of it. That's a pretty cardstock on the back, pretty print on the back too. But slide it in all the way, and then just give it a squeeze, and it cuts a beautiful little banner shape for you. And we'll do the same here with the piece of Pool Party. Just slide that in. All the way to the end, and then give it a squeeze, and we've got our 2 banner pieces ready. Let's bring in our card base, and we'll put the inside piece in first. So let me put some snail on the back of that. Oop. We'll center that on the inside. And where's my stamp that says thing about the brighter days. Here we go. Make sure I've got that right side up here, and stamp it centered side to side, but kind of towards the top. So now I have that there. I don't think I need my Memento ink anymore. So I'm going to make sure this is dry, because on my sample card I didn't let it dry, and it's stamped onto my card base on the front side. So hopefully that's dry enough now. Now we'll decide how we want our banners. Let's say I had the pink one on the top before and the blue one. I think I'll reverse them this time, and I'll have them like this. What do you think? That look good? Yeah. That's how I want it. So I'll put some snail on my designer paper. And I want that, about a ½ inch up from the bottom. And I want this one going almost about a ½ inch shy of the edge here. And I'll do the same on the top here, about a ½ inch down. And I wanted this one shorter, so that's good. That worked out well. I didn't have to trim that one off. Now I'll just take my scissors, and I find it easier from the back, and I'll trim off that excess designer paper there. So we're moving right along on this card. Oh, you know what? I didn't want this straight. Oh good, I could peel it off. I wanted this catty-cornered. I wanted it catty-cornered. I wanted it at a jaunty angle. There. Oh, thank goodness I noticed that. And then I could still peel it up. There we go. Now we're going to attach this with, you know what, I'm going to skip the dimensionals. Let's skip the dimensionals. We're just going to put this down like this. Now I lined up so the jar was straight up and down, and just my my pink part was at an angle, my pink paper. Okay, so there we are, and we're almost done. And you could stop here if you wanted to, and it would be a perfectly lovely card. But I got these Nuvo drops, and I love them, and I want to put them on everything. So since this is my card, I'm going to put them on my card. I'm just make myself some little enamel dots. And the trick on these is you want to get a little glop of the product going. And you can see it come down this little spout here. So you kind of look on the side when you're doing this. And you see that little dot, and you touch that little glob to the paper. Not the tip. You touch the little glob to the paper. And then you'll have beautiful little enamel looking dots. And I'm just going to put a bunch of these in the background here and keep them small. And just a couple more. Yeah, I don't know where I've been for the last year. They've been out on the market for about a year now. And I really like these. So yeah, I'm going to be using these a lot on my cards. But like I said, you can always skip that. And here's a little tip: when you're done with anything like this that's kind of a glue or a medium like this, when you're finished, tap it on your table. Give it a couple good whacks on the bottom of the bottle. Okay? Wipe the lid off, and then listen. squeeze it, give a light squeeze, and listen. Ooh, it just shot a little bit of pink out somewhere. But give it a listen, and you should be able to hear it huffing. And that way, your applicator isn't filled up with whatever product you have in that bottle. So you tap it and knock it down. I found the little little drop that flew out. But you can hear it. Can you hear it? I don't know if you can hear it on the video or not, but it'll make a little huffing noise. Just squeeze it lightly, and then you know that the applicator is clear. So that's it. We be done. So there's my original with my mistake on the inside. See where it transferred? That's not good. And there's our demo card for today. So if you've liked this video, then be sure to hit that like button down below. I always like to see what people like. And if you'd like to shop with me for any of the Stampin' Up! Products I've used today, you can do that either through my Facebook page or my website. And I am doing a giveaway. I'm giving away Designer Series paper. And I'll put the URL to the video about that. There's the video, and then down below is all printed out, the red tape you have to go through, or the fine print, what's required to get your free designer papers. And this stamp set, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, the stamp set, this sharing sweet thoughts, for every one of those stamp sets that's sold, Stampin' Up! Donates $3, which, I mean, that's a good amount. $3 to the Ronald McDonald House charities. So it's a win-win. You got to get these beautiful stamps, and Ronald McDonald House gets the $3. And if you use me as your demonstrator and buy the stamp set, then I'll send you the Designer Series papers. So just be sure to read through all of the fine print, because there are certain things that you have to do, or no designer paper for you. So yeah. And as always, I'll have all my materials that I used here listed down below. So y'all take care, stay safe, and happy stamping.